And for some sparkling business news now on the programme, Cami Knight is joining us. She's beginning in China today. It would appear US sanctions on Huawei aren't quite having the effect that the authorities may have hoped, Cami.
That's right. China's Huawei is about to launch its first flagship phone called Mate 70. And what makes it special is it can run its own apps on its own operating system. It's installing Harmony OS Next on the new devices, a signal it's ready to cut ties with Western-backed systems on which most of the world relies. China's government has been on a mission to become technologically self-sufficient, and though a lot of that has been focusing on boosting its own semiconductor production, breaking free from American mobile operating systems has also been crucial. As it stands, Google's Android and Apple's iOS power about 98% of smartphones globally, including almost all those in China. Huawei's new system adds a third contender. It was launched last month but will become much more widespread with Mate 70's release. It's just the latest demonstration that US sanctions designed to weaken the company have actually cemented Huawei's status as a key contender. Last month, the group reported a 30% sales jump from a year earlier in the first few months of 2024. Let's take a listen to one of the software's creators.
After the United States imposed sanctions on us in 2019, we were unable to use any Google apps. We have many application markets in China, including those of Huawei, Honor and Xiaomi. But when Google suspended business with Huawei, we had to build a mobile ecosystem step by step ourselves, including the hardware and applications.
With the Trump administration and Marco Rubio as Secretary of State, the US's war against Huawei is not expected to cool.
Indeed. Let's stay in the US for this next one. Thanksgiving is just around the corner, of course.
That's right. Hosting a Thanksgiving dinner is stressful at the best of times, but a survey published last week shows almost half of people hosting Thanksgiving dinner are concerned about cost. Food prices shot up during the pandemic, and in 2022, an outbreak of avian flu sent egg and poultry prices higher. The cost of groceries for a dinner for 10 people has decreased 2 years in a row, but it does remain about 19% higher than before the pandemic. Morgan Eyre has more.
It may be the busiest shopping season of the year, but 47 million Americans are going hungry, according to NGOs.
I'm not starving, but I'm struggling. I've always heard about inflation. I've never felt it like I do now. This is my first time at a food pantry, and the past 4 years have been an eye-opener. I voted for Biden, and I regret it.
The cost of living and the economy were big reasons why many voted to return Donald Trump to the White House.
Okay, we have jasmine rice. The increase in need has been exceedingly heartbreaking to see so many of our neighbors. You know, that may be the outcome of the election, that people were looking at their immediate pocketbook needs and not seeing the long-term impact.
Thanksgiving and Christmas are likely to put further pressure on millions of households. The average cost of a Thanksgiving dinner this year will be around $58. While it's down 5% since 2023, it is still 19% higher than 5 years ago. Trump has promised to bring down prices. Experts say a president is limited in what they can do to control grocery costs. Inflation has come down significantly since the 2022 peak of over 9%, but prices are still rising at a faster rate than the central bank would like.
And Camille's going to end today on good news for the US box office this weekend.
Exactly. We had Barbenheimer last year. This time we have Glicked, the simultaneous release of Gladiator II and Wicked in the US. The two blockbuster films dominated the box office, but didn't quite reach Barbenheimer levels. In North America alone, Wicked made an estimated $140 million from more than 3,800 locations. That's the biggest opening weekend for a musical adaptation of a Broadway show. Gladiator II, meanwhile, pulled in an estimated $55.5 million, so Wicked did outperform Gladiator II there, more than doubling its earnings to take the #1 spot at the global and domestic box offices this weekend. It's a welcome boost to a struggling industry after a strike shut down production for nearly 4 months back in 2023. The overall domestic box office is down 10.6% from last year, but is expected to rebound soon. Gladiator and Wicked's success can be attributed partly to a huge marketing campaign. Gladiator II even sponsored a deal that would see the Roman Colosseum become the venue of staged gladiator fights, and Wicked had its own pink and green themed Starbucks drink. So they really went all out to make this a cultural phenomenon, and it seems to have paid off, Stuart.
I love the way they call it Glicked. It could have been Gladiated, but there you go. They picked a little different one. Thank you very much, Camille Knight, there with the business on France 24. On to the press review then.